Microsoft just announced a new limited edition Gears 5 Xbox One X, and in fact, they were cool enough to actually send us one early to unbox and check out. So, we don't really need this one anymore. This is the limited edition Gears 5 Xbox One X, a system that is not only a really beautiful limited edition system, but it's also the first time the One X has actually received this kind of treatment. And we've gotten special limited runs before that were like the white Xbox One X that came with Fallout 76, or the Battlefield one that had this kind of gold to black fade, and of course the Project Scorpio edition that launched for the system. But this is the first time that we actually have a really intricate design applied to it. It's also, I think, a really cool change of pace from what Xbox has done for Gears in the past. Of course, there was the Gears 4 design, which was an Xbox One S that was this very angry looking system that was this red design with claw marks and blotches, and it was this really intense looking system, whereas this time it's something that's, while still very intricate and cool, has a very different kind of vibe to it. Something that's been emphasized a lot in the Gears 5 marketing so far, specifically for the story, is this idea of being in a frozen wasteland. And that's the idea that they're trying to translate to this Xbox One X itself. Instead of this very red, intense thing that we had for Gears 4, this time it's this ice-focused idea where the Xbox itself looks like there's this thin sheet of ice where beneath it you can see the Gears Omen symbol. And it still features the same kind of etching and uses some of the same techniques that the Gears 4 one had, but instead of being things like claw marks and damage to the system, instead it's the ice cracking. And I think they really did a good job of not only simulating that look, but the color they chose for the ice, where it's this kind of frosted light blue that's a little uneven all around, just looks really nice. Now, it's not just the top of the system that has stuff going on. Like some of the other more intricate Xboxes they've released in the past, like the Minecraft edition, there's also a design on the bottom of the Xbox, which means it's really good to have this in tower mode, because otherwise you're just going to cover that up. And to kind of reflect the in-universe setting of how there's the locust coming from underground, well, on the bottom of the Xbox One X is the locust symbol, along with still having some little spatterings of that snow white color. The real winning touch to this Xbox, though, is the Omen design, because it's not just that they're using that symbol, but they really incorporated it in a weirder, different way from usual, where instead of just having a gear symbol plopped on, it's actually etched into the ice itself, and then the Omen symbol with that skull is just submerged a little bit. There's definitely a clear layer on the top of the system that looks like thin ice, so there's this kind of viewpoint that the symbol's actually submerged underneath it instead of just being something that's on the very top. It's also accented by having these little white lines and scratches on the clear part, which gives that sense of depth to the skull being deeper in. It's definitely one of the most intricate designs that Microsoft has done for an Xbox One, and I think it does a good job of making it basically the most beautiful. And this isn't limited to just the system. There's also a lot of effort that went into the controller that's paired with it. Now, this is very similar to a design they did in the past for Gears 4, which was the Phoenix armor design, but it's a little different this time to once again play with that theme of it being a frozen wasteland. So it's a little lighter in tone, there's that kind of powdery white snow that's on the top of the controller. What I really like, though, are the color choices. It's not just the steel design that has the same kind of actual physical etchings to give it that armor feel, but it's also the fact they're using this really intense cool blue on the sticks themselves and on the triggers. It's just enough to really accent all the other colors and pop without drowning out the controller in too much color. For instance, they could have applied that color to the ABXY buttons as well, but I think that would have made it a bit too much. Instead, they focused on having that same kind of dark gray, lighter gray offset that looks really nice. And then to top all of this off, something that I haven't actually seen, I think, on an Xbox One controller before, is the logo they put on the front of it is actually metal. So it has this kind of sheen and reflection on it that you normally wouldn't see. Something I usually look for with a lot of these special editions is sometimes they'll hide little symbols inside the battery door. Not the case this time, but mimicking the system, it does have the locust symbol on the back of it. This is also a controller that features some of the updates they have to some of their nicer designs, including the diamond rubber grip, and just a little bit of texturing on the triggers. Xbox has done a lot of really good special edition systems. In fact, one of my favorites before was the Minecraft design, which really says something, because I'm not actually into Minecraft at all, but I think they did a great job of making an awesome system that celebrated that game, and I think it's finally been dethroned as the best one they've done. Something worth noting is that along with this amazing console design and controller, it does also come with 1 month of Xbox Game Pass and 1 month of Xbox Gold, which is pretty standard, but more importantly, it also comes with almost every Gears game by including 2, 3, 4, the Ultimate Edition of 1. You're also getting Gears 5, which my code doesn't work yet because the game isn't actually out yet. The only thing missing is Gears Judgment. So all the games that matter are here.